Hi everyone, welcome back. My name's Tisdale. Today is Wednesday, so of course it's What Sold Wednesday. The dates we'll be going over this week are Monday, August 7th through Sunday, August 13th. And during this week, I only had a total of 10 sales. 5 were from eBay and 5 were from Poshmark. I was traveling for about 4 days of this week, so I wasn't expecting a ton of sales because I wasn't working while I was traveling as far as being online and listing and all of that. And unfortunately, I did not have things prepped and ready to go to just list out by itself. Even though I didn't have a high sales quantity amount, I had a decent dollar amount as well as profit. So let's go ahead and jump into what sold. So starting off on Monday, August 7th, we started off a little slow. It was a donut day, so I had 0 sales on Monday. Then on Tuesday, August 8th, I had a total of 3 sales. 1 of those were from eBay and 2 were from Poshmark. The first item that sold was the one on eBay, and it was this miniature portrait painting, and it was actually a print, which I did forget to disclose, so that was a mess up on my part, and unfortunately it is already on its way as far as a return, which is a bummer because I only paid $1.65 for this item and it sold for $160.40. I did have it for 676 days, but it was a very small item, so I don't really mind holding on to items like that, especially when I only paid $1.65 for it. However, like I said, I did not put in the description that it was a print of the painting. Somehow I missed that, and of course that's very important when buyers are trying to buy those, because the miniature little like portrait paintings that are actually paintings, I do have one of those can sell for hundreds of dollars. So I will accept that return, obviously, and then I'll relist and just make sure that I put that it is a print on the next listing. Then on Poshmark, again, I had 2 sales. The first are these Lululemon Speed Up black shorts. They were definitely an older style. I mean, they still make the Speed Up shorts, but if you can tell by the logo, it was pretty worn off, so I didn't expect to get too much for these. They only took 15 days to sell, which is great. I did pay $7.19 for them, and they sold for $31. The next item that sold on Poshmark and the last to sell on Tuesday was an item that took 735 days to sell. I'm not sure why I held on to this for so long. I think because I felt like it was a pretty good and cool item and it was in great condition for it to be vintage. But that is this LL Bean vintage packable. It was a red windbreaker, and for it to be vintage, it was just in really great condition. The elastic was still elastic, and it was packable, so that's kind of how I put it in my inventory. Didn't take up too much room, but it did take forever to sell. I picked it up for $6.29 and it sold for $32. And then on Wednesday, August 9th, I had 2 sales, and of course it was split right down the middle with one on eBay and one on Poshmark. The item that sold on eBay were these Vionic. They are the Debbie Brown metallic sneaker. I've had these for a total of 69 days, which it seems like I've had them for longer, but they sold relatively fast. 69 days is great. They were in really good condition. Vionic does typically sell pretty fast and for decent money. I picked these up for $7.19 and they sold for $53.55. And then on Poshmark, the item that sold was this beautiful embroidered beguile, I think is how you say it, dress. I have another one listed that I actually have had listed for a couple years now. I'm not sure why it hasn't sold. Beguile, at least from what I've seen from them, have really beautiful dresses. Like the detail, the embroidery, just the attention to detail, period. I'm sure you can see in these images, which honestly do not do it justice. If you've seen the brand in real life, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's just very beautiful, very extravagant almost. This dress I've only had for 49 days and I picked up for $8.70 and it sold for $119. Beguile can do really well. It definitely depends on the piece. Like I said, I have one that's listed that I've had for a long time, multiple years if I had to guess. It doesn't have the same kind of pattern. It definitely still has the attention to detail. I think it does have a couple flaws, but it doesn't stand out as much as this dress. But either way, they're beautiful dresses. I honestly probably just need to mark down the other one in my closet a little bit and it'll sell. So definitely depends on the piece, but if you see it, you know, you're not going to miss it. You're going to want to look it up because they're just beautiful dresses that stand out. Then on Thursday and Friday, I had donut days for both of those days, which is unfortunate. But again, you know, I've definitely have learned and can, I guess, advise that you have to put in the work. You have to be consistent with, especially eBay, but Poshmark as well. Consistency is key. Maybe I'll make a video about that eventually, but just put it plain and simply, consistency is key. I don't think it matters as much if you're listing, you know, 50 items a day or 2 items a day. It's just being consistent with what you're doing. And then on Saturday, August 12th, I did have 3 sales. 2 of those were from eBay and 1 was from Poshmark. The first item to sell on eBay was this, I believe it was brass, which I think I put that in the listing that I think it's brass, but I'm not sure. It definitely had some weight to it. But it looked like this silver plated brass candle holder. I get this at a yard sale not too long ago. It definitely was in one of my videos. I picked it up for only $1. Which was great. I was kind of hesitant to pick it up because it didn't have any kind of like maker's mark or branding on it, but because it felt like really weighted and I was pretty sure it was brass or at least decent metal, I decided to take the chance on it for only $1. It did take 175 days to sell, which isn't too bad, especially considering it was something I was taking a risk on. It wasn't definitely not a sure thing. But in the end, I did sell it for $42.55. And then the item that sold for me on Poshmark was this Ruly. It was like the sunflower yellow, very pretty yellow cord dress. And Ruly I've sold once in the past, and both times I feel like it has sold really fast. This only took 21 days to sell, so it doesn't sell for a ton of money either, but it's definitely a good bread and butter brand when you come across it. I don't come across it a ton, but if I did, I would pick it up most times. Still probably check the item and the style that you're picking up, but for me, it's generally been a pretty good seller. So I did pick it up for $6.29, and it sold for $22.60. And then on the last day, Sunday, August 13th, I had 2 sales, again split right down the middle, one on eBay and one on Poshmark. The item that sold for me on Poshmark was this Winnie the Pooh. It was Kanga Beanie Baby. It wasn't a TY Beanie Baby, it's one that Disney makes, but they can do pretty well depending on the character and I guess the costume, because sometimes they have costumes. I bought these, I guess, around 550 days ago. I bought a big lot of Winnie the Pooh and other Disney Beanie Babies. I think they may call them something different besides Beanie Babies, but they're essentially Beanie Babies. But some of them sold super fast. I have them in different kind of lots. And right now I think I have mostly all Winnie the Pooh left, and I think I might put them in one whole lot by themselves and see if they sell faster that way now that they're kind of dwindled down. Like I said, this was Kanga, the one that sold, which is Rue's mom, if anyone's familiar with Winnie the Pooh. This one I picked up for only $3.50 once I kind of divided out the lot the way I wanted to sell it, or the pieces that I wanted to sell together, and it sold for $14.69. And then on Poshmark, the item that sold for me was this black halo. I think it's called the Eva dress. It's a very deep V, and it's a style that does really well for black halo, or I guess in terms of black halo, the brand. This style I know does really well. I have had it for 341 days, so it didn't sell fast by any means, but I picked it up for $46.73, so definitely paid up for it, but I knew what I was getting, and I knew that it was going to sell for decent money, and it did. It sold for $119, which I did think it was going to sell a little bit more, but $119, I'll take it. So my sum for all 10 items would have been $624.79. However, I did have that one return that has, it hasn't gotten delivered yet, but I'm already expecting to minus that out of my total profit. So if I just subtract it right now, it'd be about $465. That would be my total sales. And then if I take out cost of goods and fees and all of that, it would be a total profit of $201. So not too great. Definitely looked better whenever that portrait was sold, but that was my bad. You make mistakes, you live and you learn. You can't get upset over them because they're going to happen inevitably. All you can do is learn from them and continue to move forward. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I really, really, really appreciate it. That you guys continue to come back and watch week after week, or even the new people that you know, hopefully are subscribing and this is helpful or interesting. I really appreciate it, and that's kind of what I want to be here for, is just kind of inspiration of not only, you know, you guys seeing what is sold, but that even, you know, I'm not full-time, but I still make time to make a little bit of money on the side, and hopefully that inspires you guys to do the same, whether it's this or something else in your life. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.